Hey guys, what is up and welcome to another video. Today we're starting off by going to the hardware store to get some supplies, and then we're going to set up the turbo and hopefully get that mounted in the engine bay today, and like all the water lines and oil lines plumbed up. That's my goal for today. I'm not sure if I'll have time to do it because I'm still waiting for the sun to kind of dry up all the rain from today. The first half of today was literally just a downpour. Like I woke up and it was like full thunderstorm. So it was a little bit crazy. But things are starting to dry up now because the sun is out. So yeah, by the time I go to the hardware store, because I got to walk there obviously, it takes like 20 minutes to walk there. We'll buy everything and I'll walk back. Hopefully the sun's dried most of the stuff up and I can just put some cardboard on the ground and we'll lie on that because I need to take the exhaust off to get the rear turbine wheel out of the cat. So yeah, we're gonna head there now. Hopefully we get everything we need and then we can start mounting the turbo. All right, so we made it to the hardware store. Let's see if we can find everything we need. First thing we need is a few of these L-shaped brackets. You'll see why we'll need those in a little bit. Next thing to grab is a couple more packs of these M6 bolts because these are everywhere on Nissans and Japanese cars. You can never have enough of them. Always get stainless steel ones too, so they don't rust. Next thing to get is one of these little squirty bottles. And these are actually really important when installing a new turbo kit, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Another thing I need is some more of these fully sick JDM gloves because I've run out of them and I hate getting my hands super dirty. Another really important thing when installing a new turbo kit is Teflon tape. So getting myself a nice little roll of that. All right, so we got our supplies from the hardware store. It was relatively easy. I'm gonna head home, but before that, I'm gonna get a cheeseburger real quick because McDonald's is next door and it's too hard to resist. All right, so that was a nice feed. Well, it wasn't probably the healthiest choice, but you know what I mean, tasted all right. Looks like everything's kind of dried up quite nicely. So hopefully when we get home, we'll be able to get under the car and pull that exhaust off and retrieve the turbine wheel and shaft. Fingers crossed that it hasn't like bashed up and gotten stuck in the cat and damaged it. They're kind of very delicate cat converters. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how we go. Worst case scenario, we can always just bang the whole thing out and have no cat. So we'll see what it looks like once we get home. Okay, so I've just gotten home and the first thing I'm gonna do to give some more time for the sun to dry up outside, because there's still a nice puddle under my car, is I'm gonna set up the turbo. So we're gonna put on all of the studs, all the fittings, the oil restrictor, and everything that I need to essentially plumb up this turbo once it's bolted onto the exhaust manifold. Before I actually do that, I just remembered, I'm gonna spray some CRC onto the factory manifold in the car to on the studs there, because I need to remove those to replace them with brand new longer ones. So we'll go do that now. Okay, so what I'm doing is just spraying some more CRC on these old studs because I want that to penetrate in there so they're easier to come out and replace them. The last thing I want is one of those breaking off. We'll set the CRC in there and we'll close the bonnet. Or the hood, depending on where you're from in the world. Everyone in Australia, we call the hood on a car a bonnet. It's kind of funny, such a weird name. Okay, so now that I've done that, we're gonna put all of those parts now onto the turbo that I need, get it all plumbed up and ready to bolt in. So there we go, turbo is all set up now, and you guys probably saw what I used this for. I used it to pre-lube the turbo. It's very important, you need something to put a bit of pressure on. You can't just like pour oil in the hole. So what I did is while spinning the turbo, I from the top here, I just squeezed in some oil to make sure it was coming through until it came out the bottom of the return feed, which you guys probably would have seen. It made a nice little mess there, which I cleaned up. That's why we put the cardboard down, so the wifey doesn't get mad when I get engine oil all in her lounge room rug. Anyway, so it's all set up now, ready for me to bolt on. I haven't tightened these banjo bolts here for the water yet, and that's because they may need to, you know, change the orientation either up or down, or, you know, don't know 100% what that's going to look like yet till I get them bolted in. I got all my lines sorted out. So my oil feed line with the banjo bolt going to the block. Same with the water one. That's the water return actually. This is the water feed. Now this is a little bit of a bitch. I have to pull a hard line off that goes around the back of the motor and slide this into a rubber hose that's behind the head. So that's going to be interesting to do. I think I can do it from under the car. If not, it'll be taking inlet manifold, the top of the inlet manifold off, which isn't too much of an issue because I do need to take that off anyways to put the fuel injectors in that we got. So we might just do those two things at the same time today. But enough with this and getting the turbo ready. Let's jack up the car and get that exhaust off and go looking for the exhaust housing, the exhaust turbine wheel, this thing that came off my old turbo. So we'll let that sit there, let the Loctite kind of dry on those studs as well. Yeah, let's find that piece that's missing. Okay, so found the turbine wheel. It's definitely a ceramic one, that's for sure. Not steel at all, you can see it's ceramic. So that explains why I guess it just snapped right off and fell right out of the bearing, because it looks like it was just pressed in there. So that explains that. I had a look in my cat and it's full of all these pieces here that you can see. So I'll have to tap out my cat to get all of that out. So I'll just remove the cat later on and get it all out before I bolt the exhaust back up. But yeah, retrieved this. So that'll be going with my collection of other broken parts from that turbo. But damn, a little bit insane, hey. After we get the turbo bolted up and everything, I'll take the front bar off to mount the oil cooler and things, and we'll take the intercooler off and shake the little pieces out of that as well, because there will be some little pieces of the compressor wheel in there that we need to get out on that side. So, but otherwise, should be all okay. Anyways, we'll get back to mounting the turbo, I guess, now. Okay, so a quick little update. I got the rear water line done. That took me like 2 hours to get up in there because it was right behind the head. Really tight place, really difficult to do, but it is doable as long as you got long, skinny fingers like me. Got all the studs out. I was really surprised how easy that was actually. The only one that gave me grief was this first one here that I undid. And then it's just, you know, the easiest thing to do is to just, if you get a little bit of movement out of it, but then it tightens up as you're still undoing it, just go backwards and forwards a few times till it starts loosening up. So I had to do that quite a few times on that first one so it wouldn't snap and break. So we got all of those out now. I just cleaned the holes out with CRC, and then I sprayed and cleaned them out with brake cleaner. So it's nice and clean in there now. I can put my fresh studs in with some Loctite. So I'll go do that, and then after that I'll do the oil line, the oil feed line, oil return line, and the water return line on the block. And then we can put the turbo in there and bolt it on. Alrighty, so it's been a while since I put you guys on time lapse, and a lot's happened. I'm bleeding a lot. When I was undoing one of the studs, I smashed my finger up against this and it sliced it open. But probably the most frustrating thing that happened out of everything is the studs that they provided with the turbo are not long enough for the kit. So I'm gonna have to get some longer studs or bolts. I'll probably go with bolts maybe. But yeah, just whatever I can get, I guess, to bolt that on there, as well as it looks like I'm gonna have to rotate this housing a bit more as well, because where it currently is, if I try, see there's a little bit of a gap there, and I'm just kind of just sitting that there, so hopefully it doesn't fall off. But when I push that up against there, as you can see, the compressor housing is smack bam up against the heat shield. Now I'll experiment with that a little bit more, I guess, on my next couple days off. I might try taking the heat shield off, see if there's a little bit more space there, and some things like that. But definitely the studs that they provided are not long enough, so we'll have to fix that. I don't know how I'm going to get longer studs. I guess I'll just kind of look on Amazon and hunt around. I'll actually just contact Mamba directly and see if they sent me the wrong ones first. But yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer, but I did get all my water and oil lines on, so that's a plus. We did have an issue where with one of the new studs that I put in, it snapped. Don't know if I have it here somewhere, but it snapped, and I had to use the angle grinder to flatten both sides and use the shifter to get it out. Luckily I was able to get it out, and Loctite didn't set. So yeah, it's been a bit frustrating, and obviously it's a bit disappointing and devastating that I can't bolt the turbo up now, but at least I can get some pictures and stuff of what it's going to look like and get an idea of what it looks like. But damn, compared to my old one, that looks so much better down there. Look how much better that looks there. So beautiful. So I'll pull that back off and put it inside for now, and I'll pack everything up and kind of put rags and everything that moisture and air will get into, because I'm expecting maybe it's going to rain later tonight, so I don't want any moisture getting in there. But for now, that's all I can really do on the car. It's pitch black, that's why I got the lights up, and struggling right now because the mosquitoes are biting me. So anyways, like I said, I'll pack all my stuff up and then we'll head inside. Alright guys, so I didn't pack up. I wanted to see if there was still going to be clearance issues and whatnot if I took the heat shield off. So I took the heat shield off. It took me like 5 seconds, and I've put the turbo back on here, and when I hold this up flush, the compressor housing does clear, but where the outlet is way too close to the manifold. There's not even 0.5 centimeter or, like, you know, 5 mil in there free for me to slide a silicone coupler on, and then it would be touching the exhaust manifold. So this definitely needs to be clocked more this way. And then what I've noticed is when this is sitting up flush here, is that the core needs to be clocked as well, that way, because when that's sitting flush up against there, the oil inlet is about on this angle, and it needs to be at directly straight up and down angle for the oil to flow through the turbo. So it's not as bolt-on as I was hoping for, but it's still a bolt-on product. I am still really bummed about those studs not being the right ones, but it's okay. I'll contact Mamba. I will let them know the length that they need to provide for future kits and stuff like that, so you guys don't get caught in the same situation. And I'll take lots of pictures and stuff of how I've set this up so that they know how to clock the turbo and ship it if it's for an RB25. But then again, I mean, it could be different on, I don't know if there's any difference in these manifolds from the 33s all the way, you know, the 32s, 33s, 34s. I don't think there is. I think they're the same cast manifold across the board. But who knows, you know. Anyways, I'll give them all the feedback that they need, and you know, talk with them about that. But I mean, overall, I'm really still happy with the product. I'm just a bit bummed because I was hoping to just get this bolted on today, and I've run into all these issues one after another, which has been really frustrating. I split my finger open and put blood everywhere, but you know, blood, sweat and tears, right? That's what happens when we work on cars. But anyways, still really happy with the product, and it just means we'll probably not going to get this car tuned and driving for Golden Week, which kind of sucks because Golden Week's like starts this week. But I mean, I guess I'll be able to work on the car on Golden Week, so that's a plus. If you don't know what Golden Week is, it's pretty much a week-long public holiday, and I was trying to get the car running so I could get down to Aoba-Ku to hang out with Alexi and Adam LZ, but it's not going to work out. All good. All right, so definitely really gonna pack up and head inside now because I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm grumpy. So yeah, time to start working on the car. All right, so I'm inside and I'm exhausted. I have grease all over my face and my arms are scratched, and yeah, so I'm a little bit disappointed, obviously, that things didn't go as smoothly as I wanted them to, but I expected them not to, if that makes sense. You know, things that are normally bolt-on still always require some type of modification. So I was expecting that. Now, I think the biggest challenge out of everything that I need to do is fitting that turbo and getting that in there perfectly and everything routed, like cooling pipes and stuff like that, the intercooler piping and things like that. But, you know, it's okay. I now know that I need some longer studs or bolts. I might go with bolts and locking washers, just whatever I can get my hands on, because I still want to get the car tuned on Tuesday. And for the rest of this week, I'm working, so I don't really have much time to get everything done. I got Sunday, Monday off, I think, and then I'm supposed to be working Tuesday, Wednesday, but I'm gonna try and get those days off and in annual leave so that I get an extra long holiday for Golden Week and I can get the car tuned. So fingers crossed I can get everything that I need and everything worked out, and then the fuel pump, injectors, and fuel pressure regulator all go smoothly. But for now, I still accomplished a lot today, got all those lines sorted out. I got that really difficult water line on the back of the head and the block sorted out, which took me 2 hours to do. It's doable, but damn, man, like, if ever you ever wonder why a mechanic charges so much to be able to just fit a new turbo, just watch what I did today. Like, some of the stuff that I spent 2 hours on was just ridiculous. Something that could have taken 5 minutes, but because of the location of where it was in the engine bay, it made it drag on for ages. Anyway, so yeah, I'm still happy. We accomplished a lot. We're that whole another step further forward. I mean, it could be worse. It could be taking me 5 years to replace a turbo. Okay, so I'm rambling on now and I'm exhausted and I just want to jump in the shower and eat dinner. So for now, thanks heaps for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Smash all my social media down in the description, especially if you want to see behind the scenes things and stuff like that on my Instagram stories and whatnot. And I'll catch you on the next video. Ciao, mata ne.